Everything you're about to see is completely real. There's no VFX. You may or may not lose your mind. One band, 567 printers, literally simulating a screen. And they recycled all the paper, so that's good.
Oh, look so quick, moving so slight, could almost imagine it didn't just happen. But everything will change in just one little plan. It's not passing fascination now, it's obsession. It's obsession.
That's so much paper, bro. Oh my goodness. Hi, my name is Jordan. I'm a professional music video editor for artists like these guys. Welcome to the second channel where it's Jordan Orme, but lowercase. I changed the channel name. Maybe I'll change it back, but right now that's what it is because it's kind of confusing because it's the same name for both channels that I have. Anyway, let's break this down from a pro video editor perspective. Woo! So from an editing perspective, everything has been one shot so far, and it looks like it's on a motion control camera rig because of how perfect of a camera move this was after they, shot this printer shot, and then the tilt up right here. So perfectly controlled. That's a motion control camera rig. It's perfect. There's no issues with it whatsoever. And then right here, we transition to stop motion mode. Now, what stop motion is, if you don't know, is you just take a picture every once in a while and then you stitch all the frames together and then it looks like it is in motion. But I'm not sure if they actually did this because I think they're using a cinema camera the whole time. So another way you can kind of achieve this look is by slowing everybody down with what they're doing and just speeding up the footage like crazy. And then all of a sudden you get kind of a stop motion feel. So I'm not sure which one they did, but it matches the music perfectly. We have the high cowbell and the low cowbell.
It's obsession.
Dude.
It's obsession.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure this was just shot on a cinema camera and they're just taking specific frames that they want and then sometimes putting in actual just live shots of the band. So if you look at this really closely, they have sections, especially when they're drumming, it looks like they're in slow motion. So if you take a look at this shot of the papers falling, that's actually the normal shot that's just played right here. That tiny moment with the papers all falling. And it looks like they're in slow motion, but really what they're actually doing, if you look at the behind the scenes, is they are drumming like this slow. And then they just speed up the footage. Instead of like speed ramping and actually just playing it in slow motion, this is an accurate shot of them drumming with the papers falling because they wanted to get that paper fall effect. Otherwise you would just, cut to the next shot where the papers are a different color. Now this begs the question, how the frick did they do this with the papers? We're gonna talk about it later. But right now all we have is pretty much sped up footage and a motion control rig, which is able to capture the camera movements perfectly with members playing, but very slowly.
It's obsession.
And introducing color at this moment, genius. They did not do that, bro. That's crazy. Every 10 to 15 seconds, there's a new trick and I'm losing my marbles. So the motion control camera tilts down to pure white. And now this creates a opportunity where we can transition to anything. And we just use that white to transition to an overhead shot of a printer. And it prints frame by frame what the camera has already filmed. Maybe this isn't the motion control camera, maybe it's a different rig, but frame by frame, every single frame is printed and then we just cut them together one at a time and we get that effect. Dude, this is wild. Bruh. What the frick?
And it's physical.
And then we tilt back up.
It's like standing at the edge. Your blood starts to pump, cause you're worried you might jump. And your head throbbing like a heart.
Nah, bro.
Drums throbbing like the point is just go ahead and jump. It's obsession.
So how did they do this dancing part? It looks like they actually planned this choreography and they filmed it, on a blank background and then comped themselves into a virtual space that, these printers can print. And we're gonna talk about this later, like how the frick are we having printers basically act like an LED screen, so it's moving. All of the papers are pretty much in the exact same position, except for the few papers that are animating each one of the members moving. So if we look at this, as he moves around the scene, we're just reprinting these papers of each of them moving. So that when they're actually on set, there's a click track and a guide telling them every single move to make. And you can see how slow they have to move. It's absolutely wild. And so the printing and everything is completely synced up to this click. Bruh, this is wild.
Cause you worried you might jump, and your head throbbing like a heart, and your heart throbbing like a drum, and the drums throbbing like the point. It's just go ahead and jump. It's obsession.
What the frick, bro?
It's obsession. It's obsession. It's obsession.
Nope. Nope. No. They are doing such a good job at pretty much every new phrase, every new verse, every new chorus. Something revolutionary and new gets introduced. And we're gonna talk about that later at the end because it even builds more. Like the way that the video builds with the song is genius, and you can tell that the band and the director did so well to figure out how to capture the build of the song visually. That's something that most music videos really struggle with. So we just have, pretty much normal stop motion where they're just messing around, the printers are printing, and then this happens. What the frick? There's a hole, there's perspective change, it's 3D. Now this is where the motion control camera rig comes into play, as well as a screen. So every single thing that's been printed has already been prevised on a screen. They already made it, they made the patterns, they made the visuals, and the 567 printers are literally printing frame by frame what they already planned out visually. Since we have this hole that's moving around the printed screen, you can actually create a perspective warp by moving the camera against it. And that's where the motion control camera rig comes into play, because it can gyroscopically match the camera move perfectly, whereas the hole moves over, the camera moves at the exact same rate, and when it comes across, it moves at the exact same rate, so it messes with your brain so badly. It's crazy. This is nuts. Now the camera's spinning, they're flying. Now I know I've talked about wirework a lot in my videos. This is funny because you can actually see what wirework looks like. This is what it is. Whenever you see somebody flying in a video, lots of times in stunt work or in the movies, they're usually attached to a harness and some kind of wire rig like this. And they just kept it in there. I love it. The visuals are nuts. Bruh. This is so freaking good. This is so freaking good. Every single time we're just building. The colors are getting crazier. The people are now flying. It's getting nuts. All of a sudden we start stacking all the paper that has fallen. And by the way, did you know that they actually had to reload the paper every 3 to 4 minutes? These printers are printing thousands and thousands of sheets. They can only hold so much. So they had a giant scaffolding rig of every single frame that each printer needs to print, and they loaded it every 3 to 4 minutes. This took for sure all day to film. Like, they're moving at this rate throughout the entire video. This is nuts. And then as it's just getting crazier, we need something new now. It's a new phrase. So what are we doing? We're stacking the paper to each one of those crazy hits. this is nuts. And then you turn it into patterns. Bro, like the amount of time to create each of these stacks. And you can see the graph that they have to make it into a actual pattern. I love how they didn't try to erase the imperfections too, like the wire work and all their T marks and stuff like that. They just left it and they're like, this is real. No VFX in this video whatsoever. None, zero. And then we go from bajillion papers to one paper. That is how you use the full gamut of your contrast. That's why contrast creates focus. That's why at the climax of this video, we are the most focused, because we had thousands and thousands of paper going into crazy patterns, and then we have one paper being printed with one band member, and it's simple and it's quiet. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is freaking art, bro.
Looks so quick.
I love how he caught the first paper and then he tried to catch the second paper. It didn't quite work. And then he was just like, man, this is too hard. I can't do this. And the camera transitions too. They motion controlled every single frame of this. The background is choreographed.
So quick. A look so quick. A movement so slight. Oh, it's not passing fascination now. It's obsession.
It's just so nice to see a normal shot after being in stop motion for so long. And you can just see what it looks like to actually be there, to see everything print and to see it all fall. It's like a nice refresher. It's like a palate cleanser. It's nice. And then we go right back into it.
It's obsession.
And it's just pictures now at this point. It's drone shots in the background as they're flying. They're flying up into space. The fact that this is so well planned is because of Previs. So if you don't know what Previs is, it's pretty much just an animated version of your video before you shoot the video. So they have the background, LED screen, all pre-visualized, every single pattern, every single animation, everything. And then they have animated versions of the band members doing all the choreography, as well as the camera movements all mapped in. So you can see the video done before you even shoot it, and then all you have to do is take those animated moments, take the choreo, and put it into the motion control camera rig, put it into the brains of the members, and put it into an array of printers. It's honestly super easy. I don't think anybody could do it, so. You know, whatever. Oh, and then to go to normal speed at the end, genius. They were probably chilling in those harnesses for hours, bro. That sucks. They had to just sit there for so long. Oh, this is incredible.
It's obsession.
Thanks for liking and subscribing. I hope you learned something. I know I learned a ton from this. If you want to learn to become a professional editor, head to my website, jordanorme.com. God bless you. Peace.